What's up, y'all? Anderson Emerald here, back to talk about the Maurie Plant Classic going down in Melbourne, Australia this weekend on March 29th. By the time you're watching, it's maybe a day or so before it actually goes down. And of course, I've been talking about this meet in a few different capacities over the past few weeks, months really, where you have Gout Gout, he's going to be running the 200 meters here. You have Letsile Tebogo, he's going to be running the 400 meters here. So I just wanted to do a quick preview, as I do think, of course, these two are some of the more popular athletes over the past couple years in the sport. Gout Gout over the past year, really. And I do think it has some implications as we look forward for both of these athletes in terms of what performances will they put down, how will they actually execute and race when they get on the track in their respective events. So first off, let's talk about Letsile Tebogo, where he's going to be dropping into the 400 meters here, and he's already run a few 400s in 2025. Check out the last video that I did kind of breaking down Tebogo's early season 2025 already, how it compared to 2024. But this meet in the 400 is going to be his first kind of high profile 400 meter race for the season. He's been running some local races in Botswana, down at home, where he's run maybe 45 seconds a couple times. He ran like a 48, whatever it may be. Nothing that was too pertinent in terms of, oh, this actually means something for his season. What he's doing right now, from my understanding, is just building up that base to make sure that he's going to be prepared for the 100 and the 200 later on in the season. And I think there's going to be a continuation of that here in Melbourne, but I do think he's probably going to take a little step up and probably go a little bit faster than he has before. He's already run 45.2 seconds, I think, this year. Finished second place to his training partner, Maurie, who's already run 44.5 seconds this year. Of course, is an outdoor world leader for 2025. Both of them are going to be going head to head here. So Tebogo, he's going to be fighting again with his training partner, Maurie, as well as Scotch as well. Both of these guys ran on the 4x4 at the Olympic Games in Paris last year. We saw that was, man, one of the most legendary, if not the most legendary race, in a very, very long time. Of course, Letsile Tebogo, he split 43.04 seconds on that anchor leg, second fastest split in history, all that, right? We know his talent. But many people kind of questioned, oh, is he going to be ready? Is he kind of like, should we be worried about his season? Nah, no worries at all. I think that he's going to be able to come here and potentially not only break 45 seconds, but I think he's probably going to run in the 44 mid to 44 low range. Last year, around this time, he did run 44.2 seconds, which was a really strong performance. That's his personal best. And that kind of set off the wave of, okay, Letsile Tebogo is a very strong 400 meter threat. Like I said, that led to his performances in the 4x4 throughout the entire year of 2024. I think he'll probably match something like that. Again, 44 mid to 44 low is very likely. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go sub 44 seconds, but I don't know if I truly do expect that. Now, remember, Maurie, his training partner, his teammate, he's also run 44.5 this year already. And on the clock, in terms of active 400 meter runners from Botswana, he is the fastest one. He has a personal best of 44.0 seconds. He hasn't broken 44 seconds yet, but he, of course, is a major challenger to Letsile Tebogo. So don't be surprised if Letsile Tebogo finishes second place here again. Maybe it'll be an extremely fast race. I would love to see that, but I do expect both of them to really fight it to the line. Maybe Tebogo probably gets the win, maybe Maurie does, but I think this will be a good race to set the foundation for what Tebogo is going to be doing moving forward. Because after this, he's not running 400s. He's going over to Asia and he's jumping into the hundreds in the Xiamen Diamond League, in the Shanghai Diamond League, in the Doha Diamond League. I think he's running hundreds all across the board there. And then he's going to go to the World Relays and they'll run their 4x4. So it's not that he's going to be a 400 meter runner. He's really just setting himself up, providing, getting some base training and some, longer distance races in the 400 to prepare himself for the 100 and the 200. Remember, at the 2023 World Championships, he got the silver medal in the 100, and then he got the bronze medal in the 200. He followed that up at the Olympic Games, getting a gold medal in the 200. What's missing? A gold medal in the 100-meter dash. That is one of his goals that he's communicated very frequently. As much as me, as you, as a community, as much as we would love to see him run the 400, I don't think that's his immediate goals right now. He wants that 100-meter gold medal, and he wants a 200-meter gold medal at the World Championships. Like, he wants to be one of the best. So that's his focus. We'll see how this kind of does translate into those 100 and 200 meter races as we look forward in 2025. Now, Gout Gout. Let's dive into what his expectations might be in the 200 meters here in Melbourne. So I actually think this is going to be one of the, I don't know if it's the toughest, but it's going to be one of the more interesting races that Gout Gout has had in 2025, of course, and then even since he finished second place at the World U20 Championships to Walaza, who of course won the double in the 100 and the 200. Here, Gout Gout, he's run the sub 20 second, the windy performance, right, plus 3.8 meters per second wind, but his personal best is 20.04 seconds. That's the Australian national record. But most of his races over the past couple months have been against just nobody, right? No competition. No one who's able to run 20 low or potentially a windy 19.9. No one in the races that he's competed in have really even pushed him or give him any challenge, barely coming off the bend and definitely not, down the home straight. So this, I think, is going to give him a true potential test of, what it's like to compete against some of the best in his current form. Yes, I understand. 2024, he finished second place to Walaza in the 200, but now that he's kind of had a step up, he's now 17 years old. He, of course, is stepping into a new realm. Now, in this race, we're going to see from Japan, Koki Uema. He's run 20.26 seconds in terms of his personal best, and he ran on the 4x1 team that won a silver medal at the Olympic Games last year. So I think that's going to present at least a good challenge. Someone who is capable of running 20 low in the 200 and is a professional athlete, is one of the athletes who's won a medal at the Olympic Games, whether it's in a relay or not. I do think this will provide hopefully a little more competition, because one thing that I said in my previous video with Gout Gout is questioning, is he ready to compete with some of the best? Yes, I mentioned the Noah Lyles, the Letsile Tebogo, the Kenny B's, the Ariane Knightons, right? Those guys are running 19.6, 19.5, 19.4, right? They're in a different realm. So I'm not expecting Gout Gout to be able to compete with them, but what I am interested in seeing is how Gout Gout responds to someone who is right next to him coming off the bend, who might be right next to him, going down the home straight. Do I expect Gout Gout to win? Probably. I'm probably gonna, pick him to get the 200-meter win here, but it'll just be interesting to see how he responds now, considering he's a much more developed and much more talented athlete. He's still developing. He's only 17 years old, but how is he going to respond with some major competition and not just guys, all due respect, who are running 21 seconds or some of them running 22 seconds for minors? It's like, come on, let's see him go up against some really top guys. Now, to be fair, I think most of us are just excited to see Gout Gout run, but running a time trial is significantly different than running a competitive race. There's times where, someone like Noah Lyles, of course, he's a 3-time world champion, where he is behind coming off the bend. He is behind. That occurred right in 2023. That occurred in 2019. I famously remember that race where in Doha, he was significantly behind, maybe 3rd, 4th coming off the bend, but he's able to remain composed, and he's used that to his advantage to be able to execute going forward. Someone like Letsile Tebogo, he's been able to definitely remain composed in very tight situations. Something like that 4x4 at the Olympic Games, that doesn't happen if you're not dealing with an athlete who is extremely professional, who's extremely talented, who's extremely patient. Tebogo is that athlete. In the 200, he doesn't win Olympic gold as a fluke, right? He used his talent. He consistently developed over the past couple years to get to that moment, to get to the final, despite having lost his mother early in the season, and he was able to deliver in the biggest moments, right? So I wonder how Gout Gout is going to be able to, again, deliver when he has a lot of competition in the lanes right next to him, or just in the race in general. Again, yes, I understand he's still developing, but this race, I think, for me, is going to be pretty interesting. Now, that's only one guy. You do have another Japanese athlete, Yudai Nishi. He has a personal best of 20.43. You also have Caleb Law. He's from Australia, and also have Lucky Kennedy. Lucky Kennedy, he just won a silver medal in the 60-meter dash at World Indoors, so we'll see how his kind of performances translate to the 200. But again, I just love the fact that Gout Gout is getting the chance to compete more against, some of these professionals and some guys who may be on his level. Now, let's be clear. He has the Australian national record in the 200, right? The 20.04. So on paper, there's no Australian in history who's faster than him. But what I'm interested in, like I said, how is he going to respond against some of the hopefully tougher competition? But that's just my kind of things that I'm looking forward to at this meet. There are some other events that are going down, but go in the comments. Let me know what you're looking forward to at the Maurie Plant Classic going down in Melbourne on March 29th, just coming up this weekend. Should be pretty exciting, but let me know what you think. Be sure to like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Always appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching.